Welcome to another In5 video. This time I'm looking at monopoly. For Leaving Certificate Economics students, we're talking about what we call pure monopoly. In other words, one firm has 100% of the market. Before we get into the diagram you need to know for monopoly, let's have a look at the assumptions we make about monopoly as a market structure. So there's only one producer. The firm aims to maximize profits. There are barriers to entry. Supernormal profits can be earned in the long run, and a firm can't control price and quantity. Let's do a deep dive into what those mean. So there's only one producer. That means the firm is the industry. So the monopolist has 100% of market share. For example, Éireann Road Éireann or Irish Rail. Number two, the firm aims to maximize profits. So the monopolist operates at the profit maximizing position where MC is equal to MR and MC is rising. So marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue and marginal cost is rising. So where do the marginal cost curve and the marginal revenue curve intersect? Number three, there are barriers to entry. So a number of these that are acceptable as examples of barriers to entry in monopoly. So it's a lead monopoly, just mentioned Irish Rail. There's intellectual property rights, or copyrights or patents prevent other firms competing with the monopolist. They have sole ownership of an essential raw material. They have significant economies of scale of very high startup costs, product differentiation, or mergers and takeovers. So they are all the various barriers to entry that could give rise to a monopoly in theory. Number four, supernormal profits can be earned in the long run. That means you only need one diagram for the exam, although you could be asked to compare monopoly to perfect competition in the long run. I'll be covering that particular diagram at the BSTAI revision seminar in Dublin, Limerick and Galway this year. I'll post information on what dates those are on when the tickets go on sale in the next few weeks. Number five, the firm can't control price or quantity. So a monopolist can set price and let the market decide on the quantity demanded, or it can fix the quantity supplied and let the market decide on price, but it can't set both. This means the monopolist faces a normal demand curve, a downward sloping demand curve. So our starting point for all market structure diagrams is this: a U-shaped average cost curve and a marginal cost curve sloping up, cutting average cost at its lowest point. Please try and make sure you always draw the marginal cost curve cutting average cost at its lowest point, not just for perfect competition, but for all your short and long run market structure diagrams. We've already mentioned the monopolist faces a downward sloping demand curve as it can't control price and quantity. So here we have the downward sloping demand curve, and the demand curve is also the average revenue curve. Next, we put in the marginal revenue curve, and it slopes down at a steeper rate. So make sure you get that right. It's not parallel to average revenue, it slopes down at a steeper rate than average revenue. And I'd advise you to draw it outside of the arc of average cost, so down below average cost. That means that you get a cost of production that's clearly nowhere near the lowest point on average cost. So it just makes your diagram much clearer for your examiner. Now we add in some details and we explain our diagram. I strongly suggest you use these headings. They can be used to explain all the short run and long run market structure diagrams and give you a really clear explanation that relates back to your diagram. So we look at profit maximization, price and quantity, profits, cost, and efficiency. So on our diagram, profit maximizing position is where MC is equal to MR and MC is rising. So that's point E here on my diagram. Now we draw price and quantity. We go up to the average revenue line and go across to get our price of P1, and we drop down to our quantity axis to get a quantity of Q1. Profit. As average revenue is at point A and average cost is at point B or point C, supernormal profits are made. So average revenue at A is greater than average cost at B. So the supernormal profits are P1, A, B, C. So that shaded rectangle. It's advised you always use the letter C over on this axis for cost. Okay? Although I don't think it matters. I know it doesn't matter if you say average cost is at B. Okay? But use C for cost over on that axis. Cost and efficiency. So the cost of production here is at point B, or you could say at point C, and this isn't at the lowest point of average cost. Therefore, this firm is not as efficient as it possibly could be. The monopolist isn't as efficient as possible. You should also know the advantages and disadvantages of monopoly as a market structure from the point of view of society in general and consumers. I don't have time to do that here, but I'm sure you have it in your notes or in your textbook. So that's all for now. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to cover by leaving me a comment. Till next time.